right. I think I have everything situated. Whoever pops in first, if you could tell me if you could hear me, that would be great. Okay, so it looks like I'm about almost a minute and a half behind from YouTube to live. Oh my goodness. All right. So a few minutes early, we'll wait for people to pop in. The Zoom link is there for anybody that is joining us live. You can hop onto Zoom if you prefer. That is completely optional. You don't have to do that. For those who are watching this after the fact, this is Mr. Heckles' class for Thursday classes in May 2024. This is class number 2 of 3. So this one we are doing slightly different with a drop-in lining, which will be fun. We have a lot to do, so we'll give everybody a few minutes to pop in. And then we'll have to get started. I've lost my chat now. Here we go. I have so many screens on the go here. There we go. I'm not sure where everybody is today. Let me just make sure we're not having any issues. So just give it a few more minutes here, and then we will get started. Okay, just move some things around here. Where is everybody? I hope nobody's having issues getting on. Just going to double check with some admins here to make sure there's no issues. Or maybe everybody's just busy today. I'm wondering if everybody is in the wrong one. I did accidentally. Hi Kim, how are you? Can you hear me okay? I was getting worried nobody was popping in. Dawn says she's in, but I do not see her here. Because she's in class 3. That would be why. Okay. Kim, are you sewing along with us today? Oh, you're on your way home. Long day at work. I'm doing much better. Again, I have to thank everybody for understanding why we couldn't do class. One of my childhood friends of, how old am I, 46 years, passed away unexpectedly of a heart attack. Took us all by surprise. She passed away in her sleep. She never had any history of heart issues. She never drank. She didn't do drugs. She led an active, healthy lifestyle. So we really do not understand what happened with Holly, but it is what it is. But yeah, I definitely needed last Thursday to kind of get my bearings and wrap my head around it all, and spent a lot of time online with my childhood friends that we're all so very close. We grew up in a very tight-knit community, and we all kind of grew up like siblings. So there's about 20 of us. So we all touched base. Holly was the first of our group to pass away. So yeah, it took us all a little bit by surprise. So thanks, Kim. I appreciate that. All right. So hopefully, Dawn, can you hear me okay? Oh, there's Dawn. She's popping in there. I've got, Dawn's just popping into Zoom. I do not have Zoom on the screen just yet. Dawn is sideways and upside down. I'm looking at the screen there. Hey, Cynthia. Cynthia, are you going to come on to Zoom with us? I think Dawn's just figuring out her phone there. Dawn looks puzzled. I'm not going to flip over to the Zoom side yet. She's trying to figure things out. You can see her gears going there in the video. We do have a lot to get through today, so we're going to be going at a pretty... I can't hear you, Dawn. There you go. She's got her camera right, so let me just... I'll wait till she's situated and then we'll pop over. That's okay, Cynthia. Can always catch up later. So I know Dawn is sewing this with me today. Kim is driving home. Cynthia. I am expecting Leslie, so we'll see if we'll give her a minute or so to pop in. Yay, Dawn has her camera good now. Is your microphone working, Dawn? I don't think she can hear me. Okay, so I'm going to flip it over to, let me find it here, so you guys can see Zoom. There we go. So it's Dawn and I in Zoom currently. Can't hear you, Dawn. You can't hear me? Can everybody on YouTube land, can you hear me? I can't hear you, Dawn, at all. Can't hear you. YouTube land, can you hear me okay? Yes, you can hear me. For some reason. YouTube is fine. Says my microphone is good. I think Dawn's having technical difficulties. That is okay. We're going to get started in 2 minutes. And anybody that is hopping on a little late, the link is up below or up above in the chat. Can't hear you, Dawn. Is your audio turned off? Can you hear me, Dawn? The joys of the electronics world. You can't hear me on Zoom. I can't hear you on Zoom either, Dawn. I'm just going to do a quick test of my speakers and microphone. Okay, my speaker's working. Test, test, test. Whoops. Let me just test my audio. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Yeah, my audio and everything is working on Zoom. All right. Well, while we get all that figured out, we are going to get started. Dawn looks pensive. No idea. We'll just have to look at her pretty face and she can like wave. Hi. All right, so we are going to start. I'm going to flip this down to the table. Is this view okay for everybody? Can everybody see everything okay? So we are going to pretty much follow the pattern as is. So we are going to be starting on page 3, working on the back panel first. So I've already gone ahead and I've pulled out my exterior back bottom piece, as well as my exterior back top piece. Now this top piece is the one we want to make sure we have everything situated going the right way. So it should be getting wider as you go up. Okay, I'm going to take away these pattern pieces here. Now what we want to do is we want to find our top and bottom centers of both of these pieces. I have no idea what's going on with Zoom. Maybe somebody else will pop in and then we'll know if what's going on. I'm going to just check one more thing, but I'm pretty sure. Audio, video. I have no idea. I haven't changed anything. Cynthia, can you do me a favor? If you have everything there, even without video, can you just pop into Zoom and tell me if you can hear me? And then we will know if it's on my end or on Dawn's end. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so make sure you have them situated the right way so they're branching outwards like this. We're going to take them and we're going to put them right sides together, match up that center, and clip across. Thank you, Cynthia. Said we're still learning this whole Zoom thing. I'm new to it, but I can't see anything that it's not working. Okay, so now when you look at the pattern in section 1 on page 3, you're going to see measurements that we have to take in from the left and the right side. So we're going to measure that in, and that is just what we are going to be sewing across. So I'm going to put one mark there. And one on the opposite side. Like so. Then the seam allowance is also stated in that first section. Hi Maria, oh, you're still at work. That's okay. You can catch up later, and you can always contact me if you need help with anything. So what we're going to do is we are just going to sew from the left and the right edges just to that mark that we made, and backstitch really well, and we're leaving it open in the middle, and this is going to make for this really amazing slip pocket. So let's hop on over to the machine and we will do that. Okay, those in YouTube land, can you still hear me over here? Oh, Maria, you'll catch us sewing along soon, I'm sure. Okay, so again, just from the edges to those marks that we made. Backstitch well. And hop over to the mark on the opposite side. All right. Is camera angle at this machine good? I'm only doing the one screen. The link is at the very top, Cynthia, the top of the chat. I can probably, let me see if I can get it back over here. Hi, Danelda, how are you? There's the Zoom link. I don't know if Zoom is, I don't know what's going on with Zoom. Dawn and I cannot hear each other, so we will see what happens. Okay, so this is what we got in from the sides, and nothing is sewn in the middle, so it's almost like we have a big hole. Now what we want to do is we want to kind of put this up, okay? Like so. So we want to kind of, we have our top panel coming wrong side up. The other one is right side up, and we want to separate out the seam. Okay, so see what I'm doing here? I'm just going to use clips here. This is a new technique I have never known before. So you just kind of want to hold this bottom seam down and out of the way. We want to make sure we're not going to be sewing through this seam here. Then we're going to grab one of our slip pocket lining pieces, exterior slip pocket pieces. We want to find, make sure we got it going the right way. Yep, certainly. Find your top and bottom centers. Hi, Cynthia. Can you hear me? Can't hear you either. What the heck's going on?
We want to find.
Oh, wait. Can you hear me now?
I
see.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Weird. I didn't do anything.
I can hear you now, too.
Weird. I touched nothing. I touched absolutely nothing. Bizarre. Okay, it's all good. We have YouTube land working.
I I'm not showing myself because I'm in my jammies.
That's okay. We appreciate you popping in, Cynthia, because obviously your popping in triggered something to make it start working. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't do anything. I just popped in.
Perfect. Can everybody hear everybody on Zoom? On YouTube side, can you hear the ladies? We'll get Dawn to say hi.
Yeah, I can hear Dawn. Yeah, hi, Dawn. Hi.
Okay, and then we're about a minute behind on the YouTube side, so we'll see if everybody can hear us there as well.
Yeah, I muted that.
Okay. So now what we want to do is, again, we're folding this down, and we're going to take our pocket, make sure I do it the right way, fold the seam.
My cat's coming over. Uh-oh, I lost it. Come here, look at Kitty.
Okay, let me just double check this.
Why is it doing it?
Okay.
It's just showing the seat.
Yeah. Okay, so I have this the wrong way around. We want it so the exterior back bottom is wrong side up.
Oh, there I
Oh
am.
no, I was right the first time. Okay, I'm getting confused. Okay, starting over. We are on section 2 of page 3. We're going to fold the seam allowance of the exterior back top down. You can hear everyone? Perfect. Is sound good and even? Okay, so once again, doing what we were doing before I got distracted. Okay, so we want to make sure this seam we're not getting caught in. We are going to take our exterior slip pocket right side down, and see that center we marked on that back seam here? That is where we're going to line this up. Now we want to make sure we are not getting the seam caught in our stitching. And we're just going to clip it across. You love this pocket, Kim? I do too. It's magic. But I learned some things with this pattern, so it's great. So we are going to sew just across where this pocket is with the seam allowance in step 2.
They were on sale.
Oh,
I got all set on my stomach.
hello, Cynthia's husband. We can hear everybody. So just sew across there.
Walked in.
We're going to sew across here with that seam allowance that is stated in step 2. Making sure that you are only catching that seam and not catching the other side of the seam. Kim, how many of these have you made? Okay. Are you with me, Dawn? I think you're the only one sewing with me.
Yeah.
You're with me? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Just stop me if I get way too far ahead, okay?
No, I'm good.
Awesome. Okay, so that is step 2 done. Now we're on step 3 of page 3. So we're going to flip this upside down. We're going to kind of flip that seam up. And we want to fold these down and out of the way, so we are exposing that other seam there. So now we should see the wrong side of our bottom panel. I'm clipping those seams just to keep them out of the way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the other pocket panel, find the top and bottom centers. And we're going to match that center, so our pocket pieces are now going to be right sides together, and we're going to match it up with that unsewn side of that seam. And clip it in place. Again, making sure we're not going to sew through that. I'm hoping Leslie comes. I wanted to meet Leslie. Okay, and then we're going to sew across there with that same seam allowance we did in the last step, just making sure we are only catching that seam that we have it clipped to. Oh no, Kim, you're missing your screws on your tension case. I hate that. Machine parts. All right. So that makes page 3 done. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to take all of this and we want to pull these out like so. Finger press this really, really, really good. So we want the seam to sit nice and flat. Now Dawn is doing this with foam. So Dawn, you may have to cut a little section of your foam away here for the pocket. Yeah, okay. So we're going to press that really good. And what we're going to do is while we have those feathered out, making sure they're staying nice and tight, we are going to top stitch along the bottom and along the top, but make sure your panels are out like this because you don't want to accidentally catch them or you will close up that slip pocket and it won't be functional. So have them feathered open, and you'll see here we want there to be like, you can see your exterior fabric here because the top stitch is going to go along there. That's why we did that at that smaller seam allowance. So you're going to go in with that eighth of an inch top stitch across the bottom and then again across the top. Does that make sense?
Your camera is still on your machine, Brandy.
No, it isn't on the YouTube here.
Oh.
Maybe.
Okay.
Did it pause? Okay.
No problem.
Okay.
Oh man, so many mix-ups today.
Technical difficulties. All good. Okay. So let's go ahead and top stitch that. Do you want me to explain that again, Dawn, what I'm doing?
No, I get it.
You get it? Okay, perfect. Welcome home, Kim. Okay. So I'm going to do the top one first. Okay, and I'm just going to pivot mine around here so I don't have to break my thread. And then come down the other side, making sure that seam is still holding true, nice and open. This pocket is just genius. Holy. All right, so that we'll see if you've done that right. When it's open, you're going to see that top stitch on the wrong side through the exterior seam like so. And then this is what it looks like in the top, and we have an opening right here. So that takes us to step 5 on page 4. So we're just going to flip this over. We're going to bring both of our pockets down. And if there's any, oops, there's any excess, Coco says hi. Looks like my Amazon order is here. If there's any excess lining material, you can go ahead and trim that up. Oh my gosh, the dogs are in guard dog duty. Like so. And then we're just going to clip just the bottom of that pocket. We're not going to worry about sewing up the sides because the sides will get closed up when we go to put the connectors on. So we're going to take this back to the machine. We're going to flip it over like so. We're going to have the exterior out of the way, and you're going to sew through just the bottom of that pocket with the seam allowance that is listed in step 5 on page 4. And that's pretty much it for that back panel until we put these connectors on. That is how easy that slip pocket is to do. It's still open on the sides, but that will be closed up here momentarily. Let me see your fabric, Dawn. Show your fabric. Oh, that's pretty. So pretty. And how does it look with the foam on the back? Does it feel good? Yeah?
I love it.
You love it? Excellent.
I love that squishy feel.
Yeah. I actually ended up doing my interfacing. I got my Bouncy Firm order in from Serial Bagmakers, so that's what I interfaced mine with, and I'm liking that. It's in between the foam and a Decovil Light, and it's just got a little bit of squish, but not as much squish as the foam, but easy to keep out of the seam allowance. So it's a test to see how good it holds up for the Heckles. It's going to be nice. I'm excited.
Fantastic.
Okay, so we can put that aside, and then we're going to take out 2 of our connector pieces. So that's then these ones. I'm just going to do 2 because the front panel is going to be homework. The front panel is going to be exactly what we're doing now, but without the slip pocket and putting the connectors on. So we can get through everything. It'll be good. Hi, Arnetta. Yay, Arnetta, are you going to join us over on the Zoom side? Okay, so for the connectors, what we want to do is we've already want to have that center line drawn, which we drew when we were cutting out our pieces. You're going to use some double-sided tape into that center line. And then we're going to fold those long edges into the center. And we're going to do that with, you'll actually do it with all 4, but I'm only going to do 2 in class today. The other ones we can do for homework because it's just rinse and repeat. It is a nice pocket, isn't it, Cynthia? What does everybody think of the new camera angles and everything? Is it good having only the one view at the machine? I think it's good for classes that way. I will do both views when it is necessary, though. Okay, I'm going to do the same with the other one. So this is step 6. No worries, Stephanie. Are you going to join us on Zoom, or hope you had a good day at work? I should take a break here and mark off who's here so I don't forget. Feel free to hop on Zoom even if you aren't sewing with us and you just want to visit there. Again, hi Lexi. We just make sure that our our mics are muted unless we have a question or need to talk. Okay, let me just see here. I have Stephanie, Arnetta, Lexi. Am I missing anybody else? Danelda. There we go. And Elba's being a stalker today. I love being stalked. That's all good. Is anybody sewing this with us today? So far it's the Dawn and Brandy show, so. Oh my goodness. All right, so next we're going to need our rectangle rings. I'm using these double D rings, I think they're called. Elba, you can stalk me anytime. I don't mind. Is it really stalking if we're friends? I don't think so. So I got these double D rings from Blue Cala. So you will see on page 5, no, sorry, still page 4, step 6, you're going to see where we're going to fold these down. So what I like to do is I like to make a mark at that measurement that's in that step on the wrong sides. Like so. And then I take just a little other piece of double-sided tape. You'll do the assignment tomorrow. I sound like such a teacher. I'm so bossy. Oh my goodness, Lexi, you are so busy, and a new mama at that. Okay. So now we're going to take our rectangle rings and we're going to take it down to that line, take the paper backing off of the tape, and then fold this over wrong sides together over top of your rectangle ring, just like so. And it tells you what it needs to measure in the very last sentence of that step. Make sure it does measure that, and I do. And then I'm going to take some more double-sided tape and I'm going to place it about 1/2 inch over where it's curled over here, right here, all the way down to the end. And placing the tape like this, when we go to stick it on the bag, will not interfere with the top stitching or gum up your needle, because we're not going to hit that tape, but it's going to definitely hold everything in place for it like we need. So we need to do the same with the other one for the back. Sounds good, Kim. Would love to see ya. And Arnetta, if you need any help, please do reach out to me. I mean, I don't mind even if anybody needs extra help, we can always hop on Zoom together during the week, as long as I have a heads up so I look presentable, because a lot of the time my hair is in a messy bun, no makeup, and just sewing away. So I get pretty for everybody here. Or I attempt to get pretty anyways. Okay. Clear all my mess away here. And then we can pull out that back panel again. So again, our back panel has open sides of the pocket. That is what we want. Okay, so on page 5, step 7, it tells you where you want to place this away from that center bottom mark. So I like to just take my chalk and draw that line. So I'm just going to kind of place my ruler at the center where that line is going to be. Make sure everything is nice and straight. And I'm going to draw that line with some chalk. And then do the same on the opposite side. Make sure it's nice and straight. And draw a line with some chalk. Just like so. And then we are going to take our strap or a connector, and we are going to put it to the left of the one side and the right on the other side. So towards the outside edge of both of those lines. So you're going to line this up nice and straight along that line and stick it down with that tape. And same with the opposite side. This bag is so simple to do, but it doesn't look super simple, but it is. Oh, Kim, I'm sure you're beautiful. Oh, Elba, thank you. I still am so so mad, Elba, that we missed each other. It's so magical. I'm gonna have to try to find my way down to another one. We will see. Okay. So that is what we got. So now I am going to put on, when I get back to the machine, I'm going to put on my left zipper foot so I can get nice and close to my hardware. So we're going to top stitch this in place, up this side, go right next to the hardware as close as you can across, and then back down the other side for both. All right. Oh, what's your vinyl, Don? What vinyl are you using? Pretty. I love having the zoom because then I'm like, ooh, what are you doing? I'm going to squirrel and I'm going to see what fabrics you're using as well. So, okay, let's go top stitch these in place. So I'm just going to change into my left side zipper foot. So the one where the little footsie thing is on the left. I think that's going to do it. Yeah, because then I can get nice and close to my hardware. Thanks, Kim. This is the light orange patina distressed vinyl from Galaxy Customs. She doesn't have it any more in stock. I can't wait for her next pre-order because I only got one roll of this and I need more in my life. Seriously. I got the blood orange, which is a deeper orange, which is just as nice, but there's just something about this nice soft orange. It's so pretty. Okay. So you're also going to need a little piece of vinyl to protect your hardware when you get to that. Okay. Make sure your pocket is sitting underneath it nice and flat because this stitching is going to be what closes up the sides of that slip pocket. So make sure it's staying nice and flat and it's not tucking up anywhere. So you want to make sure that's getting caught. Top stitching looks good. And this gray is the patina vinyls from Galaxy Customs as well. This one is the colorway Stormy. So we're going to see here momentarily why I chose this zipper foot, because I can get right next to my hardware just like so. Make sure this tucks in across. And then to protect my hardware from my walking foot, I'm just putting a scrap of vinyl behind my walking foot to protect it and go down the opposite side. Good. And then same with the opposite side. Thank you, Kim. So my light blue Mr. Heckles has sold already. My client hasn't picked it up yet, but it sold the day that I posted it. She's just out of town, but already e-transferred me and took claim of it, so.
Keep going without me. I made a boo-boo.
Okie dokie. Denalda, this is the light orange patina distressed vinyl from Galaxy Customs, and the gray is the Stormy distressed vinyl from Galaxy Customs. So we want to make sure these are definitely, mine are perfectly apart, and you're going to see where we did our stitching, it closed off that slip pocket. So now we have a perfectly functioning phone pocket. Isn't that genius? Like, oh, yay! So Kim won the VIP of the month for April. And where did we get you a card for again, Kim? Was it Mormino, or was it So Yours? I don't remember. I think So Yours was the month before. Mormino, I believe. So congratulations, VIP Princess Kim. Okay, so that is it for the back panel. The only thing I'm going to do, and I'll do it for homework, is just about here. So I want to make sure I'm not going to catch this top stitching here, but right about here and here, I'm going to install rivets. So you can decide if you want to install the rivets. Here's my blue one, and you can see there's my rivets right there. So that'll be for homework if you want to do that. Now, also for homework, you're going to do your other two connectors and your exterior front. So your exterior front should be the exact same size as our back panel now. There's nothing else we need to do on there except for do the connectors. So the front is very, very kind of plain Jane. So there's the back with the slip pocket. And there's the front. So for homework, do the other two connectors on the front as well as put on your nameplate if you like. I will tell you where I placed mine, nice and centered. About 2 inches from the bottom is where I placed mine. Denelda, I think she's going to be doing another pre-order soon, so make a list. I have a huge list I am holding out because I am addicted to this new line of vinyl. So I definitely need more of this light orange because I only got the one roll, and I think it's going to be popular. I'm going to order all of the colors. So, okay, is everybody good with that? Those connectors will take hardly any time to put on. So rivets, do your front panels with your connectors and your nameplate. Okay, so set those aside for now. And next we are going to work on our side pieces. So we're still on page 5, but we are now on step 8. So I'm going to do one of the sides with you and the other side will be homework, because again, it's just rinse and repeat, and I'd rather get to the stuff that I can show you, and then if there is time at the end, we can always revisit it if we need to. Okay. So what we want to do first is we're going to take one of our connectors, and we have our center line that we already did when we, where did my tape go? When we were drawing these out. I'm going to use some double-sided tape down the center. And just like our other connectors, we're going to fold it into the center, like so. Do you know what? I'm going to do the other connector at the same time because I believe we're going to top stitch these. Yeah, so I'm going to chain stitch them just because it's faster to do them together. How are you making out there, Dawn? Did you get her figured? You okay? Perfect. Okay, so then we're going to take these two connectors to the machine and we're going to top stitch down each of those folded sides. So I'm going to chain stitch these just because it's faster. I'm actually going to put on my regular foot now. I keep these, I have my 2 zipper feet, the left and the right, and this standard foot. I always have them magneted. I have magnets on my machine that hold them because I change these so often. Totally worth it for the 10 seconds it takes to change them over. Loosen up my tension a little bit. Oh, I love watching dragon boat races. They have them in Vancouver sometimes, and I can see them from my brother's condo, which is kind of cool. He lives right at Falls Creek, so you get all sorts of fun stuff to watch there. All right, let me clear some of this mess away now. Okay, so now we're going to need 2 D-rings. Try to move away some of this mess. I just got my hardware order in yesterday, so that's why it's all still in the packages. Alrighty. Let me just double check. Okay, so in step 8, it is telling you to mark up from the bottom edge of these on the wrong side a certain amount. So make sure you check out what that is there and make a line. Now this is to help reduce bulk. Being it on industrial, I don't really have to do this, but I am going to show you just in case, because it doesn't really matter if I do it or not. So that's where you keep yours too, Cynthia. It's just handy to have them there. So, okay, so then we're going to take a little bit of double-sided tape and put it at each of those lines, just above each line. Then we're going to take our D-ring along the other side, and we are going to fold that short end down, wrong sides together to that line that we just drew. Just like so. You can see it doesn't come all the way down, it just goes part way up, and this is to help reduce some of the bulk when we go to sew this in. So I will prep the other one, even though I'm not going to do it right now. It'll be ready for my homework. Okay. So now we want to take our side piece, find your top and bottom centers, does anyone know where I can get screws for a Juki? Which screws are they for? Kim, what screws? I know you can get them in Canada because Central Sewing will have them, but that's out at Edmonton. That's in Canada. I'm not much help when it comes to stuff in the States. Okay, so in step 9 on page 5, it tells you where you're going to measure down nice and centered. So I'm actually going to use my 1-inch ruler here, and I'm going to make sure my center mark is at the halfway mark of my ruler because my connector is 1 inch long. So I can actually draw my line this way. So I'm going to measure down, nice and centered, my ruler, and then I'm just going to draw that 1 inch line just like so across my ruler. Make sure I got that right, just like so. Then I'm going to take a little bit more double-sided tape. Okay, so this is, you can decide if you want to do this or not. So what we're going to do is we're going to end up taking this and putting the bottom raw edge there, and you can go ahead and you can sew a box around there. I'm not going to do that because we're going to be putting the accent strip across there, and then I'm going to be putting a rivet through it all. So I do not need to sew that box. So if you are not putting a rivet there, you will want to draw a put it at that line that we just drew, and then draw a sew a 1 inch box for extra security. I'm going to be using a rivet for that. So I'm going to put this in place with some double-sided tape. Danelda, printed vinyl from blended threads. Dawn just got some printed vinyl from somewhere, but I don't think it was blended threads. I don't remember what it was called.
My fabric dresser.
Oh, my fabric dresser out of Ontario, right?
Yeah.
And it's really good?
Oh, it's awesome.
It's awesome? There you go. So there's another Canadian source that Dawn has tried and tested. So I haven't tried it yet. Okay, so we can set that aside for now. The tape is holding that in place. And then we are going to grab one of our side panel accent pieces. We should have a center line down the middle already drawn from when we were cutting this out. We're going to take some double-sided tape, put it along the back. And once again, so fold those long edges into the center. Okay, just like so. And then you are going to see in step 10 on page 5, we are going to draw a line. You'll see the picture there with an arrow pointing down of the measurement that we want to mark. So I'm going to just mark it with some chalk again. Make sure I'm nice and straight with my top. And just draw a line across. And this is going to help us with placement here. So make sure it's definitely nice and straight at that measurement, and I'm off, so I'll double check that again. Same with on this side. Okay, just like so. Then on the back of this, we're going to put some double-sided tape just down the middle. Again, this is not going to gum up your needle because we will not be sewing through this tape. Such easy techniques for such beautiful things. Oh, I just gave myself a thumbs down. Whoopsies. YouTube reading my mannerisms. I don't know. That was me. I must have went like this and it did that. So take the tape off and we're going to line this up just below that line. Over top of that connector and everything. It is longer than the piece. That is okay. Just like that. I'm actually going to center it just a little bit more. I failed still. And then we're going to top stitch across the top of that and then across the bottom of that. And that is also going to hold that D-ring in place. Now, depending on your machine, you may need a hump jumper to get over the connector. I'm good though. I'm good. Perfect. And I'm just going to sew down this raw side so I don't have to cut my thread, and then top stitch down the other side. And this is where our connector, remember we put it up that little bit, and that is so when you get to this part, you're not sewing through a whole bunch of layers. Jenny thinks of everything when it comes to this machine, or to her patterns, to make them super domestic friendly and to reduce that bulk. You really appreciate her writing style and her design style. It is genius. It truly is. Okay, so this is what that looks like. And now we can go ahead and we can trim off the excess following the lines of the bag or of the side panel. Just like so. And then for homework, again, if you want to, I'm going to be putting, how many did I do in this one? Oh, this one I did 2 rivets and I thought it looked really nice. So I will evenly space them out like there and there, and I'm going to do 2 rivets in each side. You can do how many ever rivets that you like. So the other panel will be, side panel will be for homework. Super fast, hey? Super fast. Okay. Next. Okay, so that's putting it all together. So why don't we work? I'm adding in purse feet. Is anybody else adding in purse feet? I just like the look of purse feet. I think they looked really good. So I put purse feet on this one. I don't believe the pattern calls for purse feet. I think I added them into this. Yeah. So I'll show you where I marked for my purse feet in case you want to do the same. So I did one right in the center. So I did 5. I did one right in the center. And the other ones I did, what did I do? I did them 1.5 in and 1.5 up for my purse feet here. So I'm not going to install my purse feet. I'm just giving you guys the measurements if you want to do it. So just from the short edges and the long edges, 1.5, 1.5, and then 1 up. And I can give you those measurements because they're my own measurements. They're I'm going rogue from the pattern because I just think purse feet classy up, or make a bag a little more classier. I like them. But really, you can do you. So yes, so I will be putting my purse feet in there, 1.5 in, 1.5 up, 1 in the center. Well, I guess you're stuck with me to the end of the class. Practice was canceled, thunderstorms, but to be with you. Oh, yay, Donelda. Donelda, are you anywhere near where the tornadoes in Ontario are? I just saw on the news that there was some, and I believe Michelle Graham, she's in the area where there's tornadoes, so I've been a little worried about her. Okay, so we are going to skip over the next couple pages because we have to finish those exterior panels. We're only an hour in. And we are going to we're going to skip over to our zipper panel and start getting it ready to go. So we are skipping over to page 10, step 25. Are you good, Dawn? You're with us?
Yeah, I'm behind. I didn't do my homework, so I had to just sew my foam onto my side panels, so I'm a little behind.
Oh, that's okay. You're forgiven. Okay, I'll just keep going then.
Yep.
Zipper panels are here. And we may go back and finish up some of that other stuff as well. I just wanted to get through all of the major steps that we could do to make next class smoother and not having a lot of repeating of things, because a lot of this bag is rinse and repeat. So as you can see, it is a fast bag to make, like so fast. But if we get through the zipper panel, maybe we will go finish up the other panels and start sewing that together. We will see. We're only an hour in. So, okay, so before we do this, we're going to prepare our zipper tape. So when it comes to zipper panels and zipper tape, I don't actually go by what the pattern says for lengthwise. I just know I like to have extra length on the end. So I just kind of go put it up against my panel and then go the full length plus about halfway or so again. So, and then I just cut it. So we've done this the last couple bags. I think this matches my gray good enough. Sure it does. Yeah, it does. It's fine. Okay. So we have our zipper here. We're going to put it wrong side up, and from the right hand side we are going to draw a 1-inch line on the wrong side with a pen that will not go away, and this is going to help us put our zipper on nice and straight at the end. So you want to make sure it's not an erasable pen because we want to be able to see those marks once we're done putting the bag together. Now, where are my pins? I've changed everything around on my desk, so I'm lost. Now we're going to flip this right side up again. And with the opposite side, we are going to tear the teeth apart a little ways, and we're going to kind of fold it under and pinch it, and then fold it upon itself like so, and put a pin in it. You can hand baste these. You can do whatever you like. Everybody's got different ways of doing this. And then same with the opposite side. You can see, kind of pinch it down and around, bring it wrong sides together. And then the folded part you kind of put up against your teeth, like so. Oops, I failed. Together, creating that 90-degree. I can't do it because everybody's watching me. I think it's because I see Dawn watching me and I'm like, no, I can't do it. She's watching me and I can see her. Okay, like so. You just want to make sure that they're curving at about the same height. So sometimes it takes a couple tries. And then once we have it, see, Dawn looked away and I got it perfectly that time. See, I have like stage fright or something. I don't know.
My fault.
It's your fault. I blame you. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and we're just going to baste those in place. And the other side. Okay, so that is done. And now we can trim up our excess tail so it's nice and even with our tape. And then I like to just kind of burn right along there just to make sure everything is going to stay where it needs to be. And then you can go ahead and you can pull that zipper tape apart. Set that aside for now. Now we are going to take our zipper panels. I'm going to flip them over to the wrong side. And I'm going to look to see what she has us folding them in by. Okay. You're going to measure in, I'm just going to tell you guys because I don't think this is a secret. From each end you want to measure in 1 inch. Take some double-sided tape. Hi Diane, how are you? Diane, are you done your Mr. Heckles? You're going to put the double-sided tape along the top. I only asked Diane that because she's usually ahead of the class. And then you're going to fold the short ends into that 1 inch line. Now I do my zipper panels slightly different. And we're going to do that my way. It's similar but different. That's why I can give you these measurements as well. So, okay. We're going to do the same with the lining piece. Diane, you're in Ontario? Are you near the tornadoes, or are you safe? I assume you're safe because you work today, so. Wow, Diane hasn't cut it out. Whew, I may actually beat Diane this time. Okay, and fold those ends in. We're going to do one side and then we'll kind of go and do the other side after. Now one thing is important is to make sure that these are the same length. And mine are, I think. Yes, they are. Because we're going to want them to match up. If they're not the same length, you can unstick them and just keep manipulating it until they're the same length. Mine are close enough. Okay, so on the lining side, from the left-hand side here, I'm going to make a mark 3/8 of an inch in. Again, I do my zipper panels slightly different. I'm just checking, yeah. She does it a little different than I do, but this is my go-to for doing it. So I've made my little 3/8 of an inch mark there. Now you can use clips or you can use double-sided tape. I'm going to use double-sided tape. Maybe I will. I doubt it. Diane will be done before me still. And from that 3/8 of an inch line, with the lining side right side up, you're going to put it along the top, all the way to the end. And on the exterior piece, you're going to put it along one of the long sides as well. Okay. Now we're going to take our zipper tape. So you want the one that's curving to the left, and you want it when it's right side up. So we have our lining piece and our zipper right side up, curvy part going to the left. We take off the backing of our tape, and that curvy part we're going to line up with that 3/8 of an inch line that we just drew, and then stick it across the top or clip it if you don't want to use the tape. All the way across. Now you could go ahead and baste this if you wanted to. I've already used the tape as my basting agent, so I'm just going to take my exterior piece, take off the backing from my tape, and you want to make sure they line up. So we're putting this right sides together with our lining and our zipper tape, but make sure that they line up pretty much perfect. Very important. They don't necessarily have to line up widthwise. I can see mine is a little bit off, probably just from how I cut it. But, okay, so here's a good example. So, see how my lining is just slightly bigger than the other, but it's matched on this side. So all I'm going to do is unstick my lining, and I'm going to fold it down so it matches up with the folded edge of my exterior piece there. Just like so. And then, let me see. We're going to put our zipper foot on, and we're going to sew through there with the seam allowance that is stated in step, where are we? 25, I believe. Yeah. So you'll see there's a smaller seam allowance than a larger seam allowance. If you're doing this and you're not basting, you're going to go ahead and sew with that larger seam allowance. If you're basting, go with the smaller one first and then with the larger one. Dropping stuff. Okay. So across there. Make sure to backstitch. Okay, so that is what we got. So now what we want to do is we want to push these both panels as tight as we can away from the zipper teeth. Now I am using two things that I cannot press with an iron, so you can definitely go ahead and press these with an iron. My finger pressing isn't going to work for me either, so I'm once again going to go in with my double-sided tape as my pressing agent. Again, if your machine is sensitive to double-sided tape, don't do as I'm doing. Just give it a good press or a good finger press, but you want to get them as tight as they possibly can, wrong sides together, away from the zipper teeth. lining side. And I like to use tape because it's really easy. You can get your finger in there and press it really good and stick it down. I guess you could also use like fabric tack, but then you'd have to let it dry as well. That stuff's just messy. Got a straight thread there. Okay, same with the opposite side, bringing them wrong sides together. Tape hanging over. And press it nice and tight away. Oh, bless you, Riley. I hear him sneezing up there. And I can see my lining is a little bit longer, like it's not coming together. I'm not worried about that at all. It'll be fine. That difference will be caught in the seam allowance when we sew this to our lining pieces. It's just uneven cutting on my part. Okay, so again, this is where you want to make sure these sides are matched up, and they are. And I'm going to use some clips there to hold that in place, because we are going to top stitch this. Again, make sure everything is nice and tight away from the zipper teeth. And clip that raw edge as well. I'm probably going to just end up trimming off that excess. We'll see how the other side is. And what we're going to do is we're going to base this bottom, and then we're going to top stitch up the 3 finished sides. Yes, my lining is waterproof canvas, Danilda. It's from Sam Fabrics Creations. It is the 600 PVC, 600 denier PVC. I wouldn't say it's necessarily domestic friendly. I love it. Your machine will love it too. She also has them in 600 and 400 denier without that rubber backing, which would be great for domestic machines as well. I love her printed waterproof canvas. I truly do. Okay, so I'm going to start with basting first. I like to start in the middle because that's where I can do my back stitch, and that'll be hidden in the seam later on. Oh, I need a hump jumper there. So right where my zipper was, it's getting caught up. So I'm just going to use my hump jumper to get over that thickness. It's just getting caught up on it. Yeah, I got a little teeny tiny stitch in there, and that's okay. Hate it when that happens, but no one will know but us and me. Okay. So I'm just going to trim up that excess waterproof canvas there, because I can tell right now, because it's really wavy, that was just lazy cutting on my part. And I know my vinyl I drew out, so I know it is good. So I'm just going to trim that up so they are the same. Okay, now we're going to go, that's one side completely done. We're going to go ahead and do the same with the opposite side. Rinse and repeat. We're making good time. Holy moly. So I can already tell. Never mind. So you're going to fold in the edges, just do the exact same thing all over again. Lost my laptop. There we go. Hold it down. Another thing we want to make sure is that these are the same length as the other panel, which it looks like I'm going to be. Now when it comes to putting the zipper tape on this one, it is slightly different, but not totally different. It's just mirrored, and I'll show you what I mean here. Okay, so we have our lining side here. Now rather than measuring in from the left side, we're going to measure in 3/8 from the right side and make a mark. And the reason we're doing it from the right side is this side of the zipper tape, when right side up, the curvy part is going to the right, and that's because it's the other side of that zipper tape. So once again, use clips or tape all the way across to that 3/8 mark. Like so. And on the exterior. That looks pretty, Dawn. It looks pretty.
Thank you.
It looks very, very delicate and feminine.
It is.
It is.
Very feminine.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Okay, so our zipper tape is curving to the right at that 3/8 mark. Stick it across. And same with the opposite side, right sides together. And see here that my lining is still slightly longer, so I'm going to adjust it to match up with my exterior. Before I sew anything, I'm going to make sure these match up lengthwise. Very important, and mine do. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to sew across there and then do the top stitching and everything like we did with the other one. All right, so again, I'm going to press these wrong sides together. We are making such good time. I may actually, if we get this done within the next 7 minutes, which we will, I may show you my new way that it's like the same as how I do slip pockets, but a little bit different. So you only have one raw edge. I may show you guys how I do that. And then we can get one lining panel done. How does that sound? Good? I mean, I do my slip pockets. I said usually we don't in class do the interior pockets because I usually do them different than I do them in the pattern. But because we have such time today, and I can show you how to do one of the side panels if we get that part done, or lining panels, and then the other one can be homework as well. I know it sounds like a lot of homework, but it's really not. Each thing will take you like maybe 5 minutes. So, but yeah, it's a new way that I've been doing my slip pockets, so I don't have to edge paint so much for my style of doing them. So I can show you guys. Or you could do your side or your slip pockets the way she does them in the pattern, whatever you like. Okay, it matches up. Okay. Oh, I need my hump jumper again. Waterproof canvas is just a little bit thicker than I usually use. All right. Okay. So there they are. They're the same size. Now what we want to do is find our center. So just fold these in half, match up the folded in edges, and on the raw side, clip your centers for both. You want to make sure those centers match up. And I just kind of put them raw edge to raw edge, make sure they're the same length, and make sure those centers match up, which mine do. And we can set that aside. So what do you guys think? Do you want me to show you my new way of doing a slip pocket? And then we can get one side of the lining done. That we were going to do that next class, but that would mean we could do all the line, or we could do lining for homework. Do we want to just stop now? Do you want to stop or do you want to keep going?
Keep going.
Keep going? Okay. We're ahead of the game of what I had on the schedule to get done. So we're going to do one lining panel as soon as I find them because I was not prepared to do my lining panels. We're going to do one side of the lining and we are going to do our slip pocket. Was this my slip pocket? I think so. Yeah. And then I need my slip pocket trim. Slip pocket trim. Okay. Yay! So I'm going to show you guys. Again, this is different from the pattern. This is how I've been doing my slip pockets for the last little while. Before I would do 2 raw edge slip pockets or for my overlay piece, but not lately. I've been doing it where there's only 1 raw edge and it's on the inside part. So what we want to do is we want to take our slip pocket piece, fold it in half, right sides together, clip down the sides. Again, this isn't part of the pattern. She has a lot more slip pockets in the actual pattern, so if you want it to be just like the pattern, make sure you're following that. This is just how I do most of my slip pockets in all of my bags. It's what my clients expect, and it's why when I do my tutorials, I do not necessarily show how I do my lining pockets, because they do not follow the pattern, and I don't think that's fair in my tutorials for me to be showing that when there's the designer's way of doing it. But my clients expect all of my linings to be the same, so I try to keep them all the same. That's why I do what I do. Okay, so once I have that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go down each of these sides with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Keep going. Go, go, go. Please, 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 everybody says. So the YouTube side is about a minute and a half behind what you're seeing, what Dawn and I are seeing. So it's kind of funny. Get the response afterwards. Okay, I'm going to change into my regular foot. Okay. One side. Oops, I changed my, that's okay. It'll be fine. I didn't change my stitch length, but it'll be fine. I'm going to stitch it again anyway, so. All right, then in where the folded corners here, I'm going to just cut those on an angle without cutting my stitching, just to reduce some of that bulk there. So when we turn this out right now, we can hopefully get some nice and sharp corners. I kept my seam allowances big on the side because that actually reduces that thickness there for when we go to top stitch this on. Find the smaller that seam allowance, sometimes it gets really, really thick, especially when using thicker canvases like I'm using. So you want to poke out those corners good. And press it if you can. I could actually press this now from this side, but my iron's off, so I'm just going to finger press it the best I can. Get those corners nice and pointy. Okay, press that nice and flat. Now for the magic. So as you know, normally I would take my piece and I would just put it down the middle and I'd fold over those raw edges like that. We're not going to do that. We're going to take this. Now I've cut mine to 2 inches. You can do it whatever, but I'm finding 2 inches works really nicely. And we're putting it right sides together along that raw edge. And of course my slip pocket piece is bigger. That's okay. I cut it bigger just so I know I have enough. We're going to clip that all along, right sides together like so. Now if you've only cut a 1.5 inch wide slip pocket piece, accent piece, you're going to go in with a 3/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch to 3/8 of an inch seam allowance when you sew this. Because I've done 2 inches because I wanted a wider accent, I'm going to go in with a 1/2 inch. And we're going to just sew across there. Oops, I need my guide or I don't sew straight. There we go. So across, back stitch. I really should make a tutorial on this new way of doing a slip pocket, because I'm doing most of my bags like this now. So. Okay, so now that we have that, what we're going to do is we're going to press, see where my seam is here? We're going to press this nice and tight against that seam, like so. Press out the air from your pocket. Then you're going to flip it over the other side, and that seam, we're going to use that as our guide to fold it over nice and tight. So see, my seam is still pointing up, and my accent piece is going over top of that. And you want to make sure that it's big enough to cover up this line of stitching that we had done. So that's why I said if you did a 1.5 inch, you take maybe 1/4 of an inch, but I wanted a nice chunky accent, so I cut mine to 2 inches. And you're just going to hold that with clips, make sure it's nice and tight against that seam. So it gives the same idea. This side will have a raw edge, but this side has a nice and finished edge. And I started doing this because I was getting too lazy to edge paint my my slip pockets. I love edge painting, but I hate just edge painting one straight edge. I don't like it. I get bored. Oops. If I'm edge painting something else, I'll do it, but sometimes you just want to get it done. Okay, so now we're going to get that air out. We're going to top stitch across here. I'm going to go somewhere in between 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch. Not quite either, a little bigger than 1/8, a little smaller than 1/4, and just top stitch all the way across there, and that is going to catch this back as well. My back's not even, that's okay. You'll see what we do here momentarily. Super fast to do. So I guess I'm doing a generous 1/8 of an inch top stitch here. Okay, so see how nice that looks? It's a nice finished edge. This side, not so much. See, it's kind of everywhere. I'm going to trim off these sides quickly before we do the next part, making sure not to cut the canvas. So these sides are raw as well, but nobody sees them. And then all I do is I take this and I'm going to go about, just again, a generous 1/8 of an inch away from that stitching. And I'm just going to slide across. And I'm just trimming that raw edge nice and even, hopefully, on this back. That's a little oblong, but that's okay. So that's it. That's what I do. This side you never see. I did go bloop there, but that's fine. And this side we have a nice finished edge right along there without having to edge paint it. So that's my little trick. Yeah, so my old way was edge paint both sides, blah, blah, but then I got lazy, so I do it this way. All right, now for placing this slip pocket. Where did I place it? Okay, so if you look at page 8, step 18, she does give a measurement where you're going to place your slip pocket, and we are going to place it in the same way. So on my lining piece here, I'm going to find my top and bottom centers. Ooh, I threw those down nice and heavy, didn't I? Sorry about that. Okay, now I like to put a little bit of double-sided tape along the bottom because I can't put pins in this because it is waterproof canvas. I don't want to put holes in it. So just along the bottom. And then I'm going to measure up what she has in the pattern, nice and centered. And then I'm going to center this along my ruler and stick it down. So I just kind of use my ruler. Oopsies, it's crooked. To decide where I'm going to place it. That looks good right there. And I stick it down. It's got air in it, so I'm going to do it. And I'm also going to find out what my halfway mark of this is, which is about 6.5 for this pocket for me. Whoops, what am I doing? That was a lie. About 5 1/4-ish. Said it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to take my chalk. Where'd my chalk go, you guys? There it is. Okay. Then I'm going to top stitch down this side, across the bottom, up beside the line, across a little bit top, down beside the line, across the bottom, and up again to create 2 slip pockets. You like that, Kim? It's just a fast way to do it. It said linings go so fast, I find. Maybe it's because I do them the same all the time, so I just kind of power through. But she's got great lining slip pockets in hers too, and they're different than this, so make sure to backstitch at start and stop. I'm just going down 1/8 of an inch down all the sides. My son he's got bronchitis, if you guys can't hear. He's coughing up a lung. Across the bottom to about 1/8 of an inch before that center line. And then I'm going to pivot and go up 1/8 of an inch beside that line to the top of my accent until I'm about 1/8 of an inch away from the top folded edge. Go over until I'm about 1/8 of an inch away from the line on the opposite side, which is usually about 1 stitch for me. Down the line, go beside it again. And this way you get it all in one continuous line without having to break your thread and backstitch and all that stuff. You only have the 2 areas where you backstitch. And up the other side. There we go. And that's all done. So now all that I will do, but I will do it for homework, is I like to put rivets backed with some Decovil Heavy. I'll put one here, one in the middle of this stitch here, and then one right here. And that just makes it so when people are putting stuff in and out of their pockets, it is not pulling at those threads or anything like that. So they won't be popping. So that's good. Keep going. We got 18 minutes. Should we do this whole lining side? Yay, nay? Oh, look, I made myself have fireworks now. Keep going. Oh, Don, okay, thank you. Okay, so this is my front panel, because I always like to have this on the front, so I got to think of it going the right way. So we are looking at we are on page 10, step 28, except for I'm using my front panel, so that's a little bit different. So because this is the one I'm going to have on my front lining side, I want the zipper panel that curves to the right, okay? So I'm going to match up the center of this with the center top of this and clip it in place. And this is just your standard recessed zipper. Now you can go ahead and baste this if you want. Again, I like to save time, so I'm not going to. I'm going to find my top panels wherever they are. Where are you? So now you want to find your lining top panel. Find your top and bottom centers of this. Actually, before we do that, because it'll just be easier, along the top side of this, now this isn't in the pattern, this is because we are going to be doing a drop-in lining, but from the top side you're going to draw a line that is 1 inch down from the top. It's just easiest on the linings to do this because this is such a small lining top. We could do it afterwards, but just having that line marked now makes things a lot easier for later. But on that note, make sure you have it faced the right way. So I'm going to find those top and bottom centers. Trust me, you guys are going to love the drop-in lining with this. Gonna love it. Love it, love it. Okay. So again, make sure it's facing the right way. So where the 1 inch line is at the top. Okay. Face it that way. So we've got the bottom here and the top here, and we're going to flip this over right sides together and make sure we're doing the bottom of the lining top with the top of the bottom part of the lining. That's not confusing at all. Match up that center, right sides together, and add it into the clips. Same with the opposite side. Okay, let me double check my seam allowances here. She based, again, I skipped the whole basting thing. Okay, so this is a different seam allowance than we have been using. So make sure in step 29 on page 10, the very last line tells you the seam allowance we're going to be doing there. You do not want to go with the larger seam allowance. You want to do the seam allowance there. Otherwise, our pieces are not going to match up when we come to do them. So let's go ahead and we're going to sew across there. And then while we're at the machine, we're going to flip it up once it's sewn. So our zipper panel and everything will go upwards, but our seam is going to be pointing downwards, and we are going to top stitch through the lining side. So we're going to do that all in one swoop at the machine rather than coming back. Okay? Now also make sure your tail, where it's not attached to the zipper panel, is out of the way. You don't want to be catching it into that side. So kind of make sure, you guys see that? I have my zipper tail kind of out of the way. And sew across there. So this pattern is so important to make sure you are reading it, because she does change seam allowances a couple times, and it is so important that those seam allowances are accurate or it will not fit together. Especially next week when we get to the construction of these, it's so unique. It's easy, but it is different. Can't wait to show you guys that part. So I'm kind of glad we're going to have all of our panels done, and then it'll be mainly just the construction and the drop-in lining next week. Okay. Okay, so again, we're flipping. I gotta remember I don't have both cameras set up. We're flipping that down towards the lining with that seam. Our zipper, we're going to see the wrong side of it pointing up towards that top panel, and then we're going to top stitch through the lining to hold that seam in place. Pulling my lining nice and tight. See how fast that was? How long did that take me? 5 minutes? It was super fast. Like, this pattern is so fast. So besides the rivets, that is the whole front lining panel done. So for homework, if you guys can do your zipper pocket, however you do your zipper pocket, again, I do mine with an overlay. If you can do that, put it in. You can use the same zipper pocket placement. She uses an overlay in hers. I use a different overlay, but she does the same idea. And do the other side of your zipper panel, except for the difference will be, the curvy part of your zipper is going to be on the left-hand side, because that is the back of your bag, and we want it to close to the left. Okay, so this is the front of the bag. So if this is at the front of the bag like so, it's closing to the left when you have the wrong side towards you, because that would be what that is. Okay, so yeah, that's it. We did so good today. So let me go this time. So now you just get to see me and Dawn. Hello. Yay.
Hello.
Hello. Dawn, do you have your back panel done?
Yeah, I have.
Show it off, because it's so pretty, in case those joining in did not see it. Like, and her side panels, they are so pretty.
This, and then this is my side panel.
That is so feminine and so gorgeous.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so again,
I'm also going to show whoever was asking about
the fabric dresser. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the vinyl that I got, and I made my rosy with it, and I just loved working with it.
Oh my gosh. I love those autumn colors so much.
Yeah.
And would you say, is it domestic friendly, Dawn? Would you say it's domestic family? Because you are on a 1541, so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't know, so you'd have to test it.
Yeah, I do have my FAP over here. I could try it on that. And then there was a vinyl that I wanted to do my Fun Bobby backpack for a diaper bag.
Yeah.
But she was sold out of the vinyl, so I had to get it in cotton. And that's this one right here.
Oh, so pretty. The blues with the browns.
Gorgeous.
It's like so retro 70s.
Yeah, I love it.
60s, 70s. Just love it. So that was fabric dresser? My fabric dresser out of Ontario.
My fabric dresser, yep.
And she's mostly pre-order, isn't she?
A lot of this. Both times I got these on her retail after the pre-order.
Yeah. When you guys see me not looking at the camera, it's because I'm looking at Dawn's beautiful eyes through the TV right here. So my camera's here, but Dawn's right here. So as she's talking, I'm looking at her because I'm polite. So, yeah. Awesome. So recap for homework. Do the other lining panel with your zipper pocket. Because we're doing a drop-in lining, you do not need to leave the bottom open. You can close that zipper pocket right up. Unless you want to turn it, then leave it open. So do that. Do your other side panel and do your front panel. And rivets and nameplate. That was it. I know it sounds like a lot, but I swear it's 15 minutes tops. When you see we did this whole thing in, what, 10 minutes? Like this whole panel we did in 10 minutes, including the slip pocket. So it goes so fast. Yay! Great. Any questions? Who's going to join us on Zoom next week? I know you guys love the Brandy and Dawn show, but oh, we had a cameo appearance from Cynthia as well, which was a lot of fun. So
yeah, they're going to get bored with me mighty quick.
Cynthia magically fixed the Zoom. I said I touched nothing. Her popping in there. It was so bizarre.
Yeah.
So bizarre. All right. So anybody doing your homework, if you have any questions, please do reach out to me. I am not going anywhere now for 17 more sleeps, and then I will be in Ontario with Miss Anna. We're going to have Pin It Up Patterns powwow of pattern design. We do have a new pattern coming up at hopefully the end of June, maybe before. Dawn knows what it looks like because she's a tester. So we're super excited about that. Super excited, if you guys didn't see, Jess of Oakla Roots is doing the aviatrix tutorial. That will launch on her channel June 17th. So super excited to see that. And it's great because that is also our Thursday class in June. We'll be doing the Aviatrix by Pin It Up Patterns, which is me and Anna. So I'm super excited. So make sure, if you haven't already, that you use the coupon code to go and get that pattern. I think it's Aviatrix 15. Is that right?
I can't remember.
I can't remember. It's on the Facebook page anyways, or if you can't find it, just message me and I'll give it to you. But I think it's Aviatrix 15. 15% off anyway, so go grab that. And then the other bag is the Pelican tote, the fancy style, and we're going to modify it and do a drop-in lining again because it's another drop-in lining like this one. And I want you guys to practice that when it's easy non-zipper top drop-in linings, and it saves my arms because I can tell you it's a good thing I have some time off coming up because my arms are killing me. So, but yeah, I'm headed to Ontario. I'm going to be meeting Miss Diane in Ontario, so I'm super excited for that before we head off the grid out of cell phone range, so Anna and I can just put our heads together and work and get the next year's worth of patterns designed. So wish us luck.
Fantastic.
Yes, Cynthia, you're going to be sewing the pattern. I know you're going to be good in 2 weeks, so yeah, it'll be good. Anyways,
since I shared one of my tumbleweeds, I think, with this group last Thursday.
Yep.
Can I show them the one that I just started?
Absolutely. So what Dawn's talking about is she got an order for 12 tumbleweeds, and the client gave her all of the vinyls and everything for it. So she's doing all sorts of fun tumbleweeds by Blue Calla. Ooh, it's Mickey Mouse inspired.
Yeah. With that.
Mickey Mouse with croc.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It looks good though.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's my latest. So between that and the Mr Heckles and now the Fun Bobby, I've been busy.
Yeah. Now, I don't think Dawn will end up doing the Aviatrix because she was our tester and she's made quite a few already. But she'll come and hang out. Diane is also a tester, and if Diane's not going to be make it, I expect them to come and make sure I'm not making mistakes with my own pattern. Because Anna gives me heck because even in our tutorial, I went rogue from our own pattern that we wrote. And I forgot a top stitch. So yeah,
you do tend to do that.
I do tend to do that. I just don't read the pattern. I just go on, and even though I wrote it, oh well.
Yeah.
Still look great.
Well,
so.
I am of the firm belief that a pattern is just a suggestion.
That's right. Even if you're the writer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if you're the one who made it, because.
But do you know what? In my defense, the Aviatrix, I was not the lead designer, so Anna was the lead designer, so I can go rogue a little bit. If it was my own, like if I went rogue on the Up and Away where I was the lead designer, then this is a problem. Or if I go rogue on the new pattern coming out where I'm the lead designer, we'll go. So Anna and I it looks like we're going to be alternating lead designs. So one of us does a design, the other one tests it, adds in their 2 cents and their changes, and then perfection happens. So
it does.
It does. It truly does, because she and I have 2 different styles and 2 different sets of skills that makes like the perfect design team. So it's awesome. It really is. So we're excited to show you what the next one is. I have it over there, but I'm not going to show you because I'm not allowed.
No, and stop it right now.
Dawn will yell at me. So.
Stop it.
Okay, so if you guys have any questions about this, Elba, you're fast enough to sew along. I'm sure you could. I just caught that right now. Am I missing anything else? I don't think so. So yeah, if you're making these and you have any questions, or if you have any questions from past classes, because I know, Elba, you are working on the Conan right now, correct? Or did you finish that Conan? But if you need any help, reach out. I'm here for you guys, so. All right. Okay, and we have 2 minutes to go. Look, we filled the full 2 hours, and we got way more done than I thought we would. I'm so proud of us. Oh, Diane's giving me heck. You better not show it. Diane is also a tester, and all the testers are put on Brandy police duty by Anna to make sure I keep a secret, because I'm no good at it. No good at it. I just get so excited. Yeah.
She's really not.
And Cynthia's telling me I'm good. I'm not good at it at all. You're still working on it, Alba? Let me know if you want to have a little bit of a sewing time together. We can always Zoom or whatever, even if I'm working on something different, if you need a hand. All right, everybody. We're going to have a family movie night. We're watching The Fall Guy tonight. It's my belated Mother's Day present that I get both of my boys tonight for dinner and a movie at home. So that's what I told them I wanted. That and a clean house. The clean house didn't happen, but that's okay. It shows the versatility of a pattern. That is right. Absolutely. All right, good night, everybody. Thank you, Dawn, so much for Zooming along with me. And yeah, everybody consider coming into the Zoom. We had quite a few a couple weeks ago. Again, thank you, everybody, for understanding me not being able to come on last Thursday. It was some much needed healing time for the loss of my friend, but we are okay now. So reach out if you need me, and I will catch you guys next week. Bye. Oh, I lost my mouse. Where are you?